Hey everyone, it's Dina, and we are here for The Last of Us, episode number 6 of season 1. Last time, pretty emotional episode last time, pretty kind of heartfelt and heartbreaking episode last time. We got to meet Sam and Henry. We got to meet Henry and Sam, the two brothers, directly from the game and everything, and then in one fell swoop in the very same episode we lost them as well. And I think in no like for no reason different than we lost them in the game either. So it's not like they changed how they died or why they died too much or anything. So pretty much the pretty much the exact same kind of fallout and everything. But we got to meet them, we got to know them, and they got to bond, like, they got to meet and spend time with and bond with Ellie and Joel and everything, and, I think what hurt even more towards the end was, it didn't really kind of hit me as hard until after the episode, and I actually thought about it more, but then even, like, Joel himself, like, I think Joel himself is someone who actually took, like, a fair amount of time to actually kind of, get used to Ellie and actually kind of get around to actually having her around and being around her and actually kind of like having her in his life and everything. Even he towards the end was like, I don't know how we're gonna get to Wyoming, but if you want to tag along, if you want to come along and be safe with us, and if you want to be a part of that journey and find your home along the way too, then that's fine by me. So even Joel was actually willing to actually let Henry and Sam into their lives and everything, and then of course everything went downhill once Sam was too far gone beyond infected and everything. So yeah, that like actually acknowledging that and actually kind of processing that after the matter too made it hurt even more. So yeah, but Sam did get infected somewhere along the line after the horde was unleashed and then everything. So yeah, it was a wild ride with that too, and then of course the infected too. The infected, we had them. Like a giant horde infected, and like one bloater that came out and actually stole the show for like for all of like 2 minutes and everything. It killed Perry, and then I think people have been very kind of eagerly pointing out the poetry behind Kathleen's death too, of her going on about how she doesn't care about kids, and kids are meant to die if they contract like natural illnesses and natural disease and everything, and then of course like only moments later to be pounded on and then actually killed by a clicker child herself. So the poetry of that is beautiful. It's beautiful. So people were very eager and excited to point that out and everything, so that was cool. Along with kind of introducing two other kind of equally great and equally kind of valuable and important kind of characters in the story. I think he also kind of used it as an opportunity to actually kind of push Joel and Ellie that much further together too. I think they for one thing they've now been like they've now been through that much trauma together, actually watching one person die from an infection and then or at least from like a gunshot because they're infected, and then of course watching Henry kind of kill himself after that too. So but both of them actually kind of having to come to know Henry and Sam kind of that much more, but then also actually losing them that kind of tragically too, and then actually kind of being on the verge of losing each other too, even like Joel being presented as that much more concerned about Ellie and her safety and her well-being and her whereabouts and all that kind of stuff, after like only mere episodes ago actually kind of claiming that she's not family and that she's only cargo and everything, but now they're very fluidly and very kind of boldly kind of showing off like exactly what that journey's like of Joel coming to see Ellie as so much more than cargo, and what he's willing to do for her, and what he's actually willing to kind of sacrifice for her and everything, and how she makes him feel and how she's changing him and everything too. And then of course Ellie kind of discovering all this discovering the new world for the first time, but actually discovering all these new feelings for the first time, and actually seeing all this kind of tragic stuff happen and go down around her and everything, and actually showing how she might kind of react to all the more kind of things that are preventable, or all the more things that she might want to try and prevent by giving her life up, or like giving her own freedom up, as the potential cure for humanity. Because I think that's also something that people have been putting out, the fact that like with her immunity, like her immunity is only guaranteed for her. Like there's no, and I think especially proven by the fact that she even did like an actual blood, like somewhat of like an actual mild kind of blood transfusion with Sam, thinking it might help him or thinking it might actually do something, you know. There's no guarantee as to whether it will actually work, whether it will be transferable to other people, or even like what like or even what might have to happen to her for it to be transferable to other people. So there's no telling what she might have to give up or what they might have to do to her. And thing, and then of course, like it also comes into question exactly what Joel is willing to let happen to her, and what Joel will actually do once he finds out, you know, what he might have to give up, in return for her to actually reach her kind of full potential or her full destiny or whatever. So there's a lot at stake here. I think as the episodes go by, they are definitely building up a lot more to be at stake. For the world and for Joel and Ellie as well, so it's a very, very well explored journey so far, so I can't wait to see how they move forward from this one. So yeah, I think besides from some other tidbits, I think that might be most of what I've got from the last one. So on to episode number 6 of The Last of Us. Let's go.
Give me the gun, Henry. Give me the gun.
Nightmares? Is this a nightmare? Nightmares, I guess. I think nightmares. Or just like a very, very brief and quick kind of previously. 3 months! Whoa, 3 months. That's a time jump. We have a time jump, another time jump. Yeah, first 10 years and now 3 months later. Oh, that's a rabbit. Oh, okay. Rabbits, plural, multiple, many rabbits.
Why did you shoot him?
The gun's all the way over there. He didn't hurt me, by the way.
Yeah, I got eyes. Well, I ain't seen him.
I haven't told you what he looks like.
Does he look anything like you?
Bit.
Then I ain't seen him.
Got a girl with him.
Can I come down?
No. Ellie.
Oh, she's just leaning over the railing.
We're somewhere here. Exactly where? And your answer better be the same as your wife's.
Oh, he's doing that. He's using the map thing. He's using the map technique on them.
So you haven't heard the name Tommy?
Nope.
What about the fireflies?
We get those in the summer.
Not the bugs, the people.
Yeah.
There are firefly people?
Oh, I can't help. I kind of love these guys. I can't lie.
We never seen who's out there, but we see the bodies they leave behind. Some infected, some not. If your brother's west of the river, he's gone.
Like people, like killers, like raiders and bandits and murderers.
Scared him.
Yeah. Because I mean, he thinks Tommy's alone, doesn't he? He doesn't know that Tommy kind of has Maria. Oof.
Joel, are you
I think
okay?
his anxiety spiking.
Holy shit, are you dying?
Or something like that. I think his anxiety spiking.
It's just a reminder that if you're dead, I'm fucked.
Set up fine.
Okay.
Lovely ambience. So what they made up to then? Like for 3 months? Like have they just been making their way to there or? Gosh.
Should have stolen 2 rabbits.
We can get our own rabbits.
You gonna teach me how?
Hopefully, yeah. Ah, the lights. I don't know which lights, but some pretty lights.
Let's say we find the fireflies, it all works. They draw my blood and put it through some of their fancy machines and make a cure.
Okay.
Then what? Like, what do we do?
Well, it's we.
You know it's we, Joel. Come on. You know it's we, you old fucker.
An old farmhouse, some land, a ranch,
Cool. What kind?
sheep. I would raise sheep. They're quiet. Do what they're told.
Yeah, okay. So, just you and a bunch of sheep. Romantic. I read everything I could in the school library. Like Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, Jim Lovell. But you know who my favorite is?
Sally Ride.
Sally fucking Ride.
Sally Ride.
Best astronaut name ever.
So that's where her love of space and being an astronaut comes from.
Want to take first watch or second?
I'll do both. Get some sleep.
He would never make you take any watch, really.
Dream of
Sheep.
ranches on the moon.
Oh, sheep riders on the moon, yeah. Space sheep. Yeah, sheep hidden on the moon. Yeah, that would make for a hell of a conspiracy theory.
Still mumbling in your sleep.
Oh, and she
I
actually
woke
took
up
up
early.
watch.
You
Oh,
passed out, so I took second watch.
I'm responsible for you, okay?
Then don't fall asleep. Check my 6. I looked for tracks. I found the high ground, and I kept watch, like you taught me to.
Oh, and he's even taught her to keep watch. Yeah. Why would you do that unless you knew that she could handle herself? Yeah, it's we, Joe.
Wake me up
It's
next time.
Fucking well, we.
Yes, sir.
She's amazing.
I'm learning how to whistle.
Oh, I was wondering what the fuck
Does
was
it sound
going
like I
on.
know how to whistle?
Not so sure about the dressing.
What's the dressing?
The part where you take the guts out.
Oh, yeah. Why do they call it dressing? It's like, you should call it undressing.
Well, emptying? Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're taking out everything that's inside, you know. Is that a dam?
Damn.
A dam.
You're no Will Livingston.
Yeah, but who is? So that made electricity?
Yeah.
A hydro dam, then. A hydro dam, I think it is. Yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, if they search them, they'll find Ellie's bite. And the dogs, can they smell infection? Oh, can he smell it on Ellie? Can he smell it on Ellie? Can he smell it on Ellie? Is he gonna smell it? Oh, God. That dog's gonna be barking off its ass once it gets to Ellie. You infected? You infected? No? Okay, cool. Oh, it's just playing with her. It's just playing with her. It meets Ellie and it's all of a sudden just a nice normal dog. Yeah, no detection necessary.
Joel.
Does she know? Does she know Tommy? Whoa. Is this Jackson? Are they in Jackson? Because he's in Wyoming, isn't it? Is it Jackson, Wyoming? I think this is very familiar. I think. Yeah, this is very familiar.
Tommy!
Tommy! Tommy boy! Oh, look at him! Oh, Tommy and Joe reunited. Oh, brothers reunited. Oh.
What the fuck you doing here? I came here to save you.
Hello to you too. And this is what you're saving him from, just other people and like a nice settled down life.
What?
What's wrong with you?
What about her manners?
She was just curious. Kids around here don't usually look or talk like you.
Right. Well, maybe I'll teach them. And I want my gun back.
Yeah, she's
also
Ellie.
are
She's very special. Yeah.
But it's all bark. We're just trying to scare off those who might want to try us, is all.
God, he looks so good too. The years have not been difficult on him or too mean.
Would it be nice to have a moment here, maybe just for family?
She is family, isn't she? She's yeah. That's Maria.
Maria is family, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Congrats. Joel, say congrats.
Manners, Joe. Come on, Mazel tov.
Congrats.
Yeah, say my yeah. What a gorgeous couple. What a gorgeous couple.
How do you keep this place quiet?
Carefully. Being in the middle of nowhere helps. Not advertising what we have, staying off the radio. House of worship, multi-faith.
Oh, so that's why he stays off the radio then, he stays quiet. So that's why he wasn't responding all those weeks. Sheep! He's got a farm.
Joe, check it.
Yeah. This is the ranch you wanted, Joel.
Greenhouses, livestock, all shared. Collective ownership.
So, communism.
Nah, nothing like that.
It is that, literally. This is the commune. We're communists.
That'll go down well.
Yay.
That's
That
gonna go
newest
down
one.
very well.
Shimmer.
Shimmer.
Shimmer! Oh, shimmer!
Somebody
Shimmer!
close.
Oh,
You could put them in the house
shimmer!
across the street from us.
Yeah.
Shimmer! You beauty. First Tess and now Maria. Yeah, the Miller brothers, you know, do not do too badly. They do pretty well. Yeah.
Doesn't seem like you aged much.
You, on the other hand.
Well, hey, he aged like fine wine. Both of you have aged like incredibly fine, the finest of wines.
We murdered people. And I don't judge you for it. We survived the only way we knew how.
If you knew the shit that I've been through, Tommy, trying to find you these last few months.
I'm gonna be a father. There's
Oh,
a few months along now.
oh, Mazel Tov. Okay then, they're expecting. That's sweet. So it looks like both of you have got little kids of your own.
Just because life stopped for you doesn't mean it has to stop for me.
Oh God. Joel, you're really not doing too well. Oh, does she remind him of Sarah with the hair? Oh, God.
Oh. Gross.
Oh, it's a pea cup. It's a pea cup, isn't it? I think. Is it a pea cup? I think it's a pea cup. Good. They actually have like a lot of useful resources here then. Yeah. Let alone the fact they've actually managed to build a community, but they've actually got resources and stuff. Especially medical ones. Kevin and Sarah. Sarah. There's a Sarah here too. I mean, I know she wasn't likely going to be the only Sarah in the world, but...
And kid, just Kevin. Sarah was Joel's daughter.
Oh, that's what the Sarah is. Oh, so Kevin... So that's why Sarah was on the board. It is that Sarah. It's not just another Sarah, it's that Sarah.
Where are we going?
The movies.
Yo, you guys got a theatre here? The pictures?
She's immune.
What?
She got infected, but she didn't get sick. Tommy. Tommy. I saw her get bit myself. That was months ago. Months. I was so afraid. You think I can still handle things, but I'm weak. Lately, there are these moments where the fear comes up out of nowhere, and my heart feels like it stopped. I just know that when I wake up, I've lost something. I'm failing in my sleep. It's all I've ever done. It's fail her. Again and again. I'm just gonna get her killed, I know it. I know it. And I have to leave her. You're younger than me, you're still strong. You said it yourself, you'll come back. You have to take her.
He can't handle another
You can't
failure
tell
like
anyone.
Sarah.
Not even Maria.
Okay, he has to tell people, Joe, come on.
If anyone else sees those bites on her,
Oh, about
it's
her
on her
immunity.
skin.
Okay.
They'll shoot her.
But that's the importance of all this.
It's the last thing I'll ever ask her. I swear.
Now he actually has something worth fighting for, and he's afraid of losing it all over again.
Is this really all they had to worry about?
Oh, I had a feeling. I was going to say earlier, this looks so much like the bedroom
Shirt
from the
with a
game.
skirt.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
He knows the area better than I do.
Do you
and-
give a shit about me or not?
Of course I do.
Then what are you so afraid of? I'm not her, you know.
Oh, wait, well, we're going there. Oh, shit, we're going there.
Maria told me about Sarah and...
No. Don't say another word.
But I have lost people too.
You have no idea what loss is.
Everybody I have cared for has either died or left me. Everybody fucking except for you! So don't tell me that I'd be safe with somebody else, because the truth is, I would just be more scared.
You're right. You're not my daughter. And I sure as hell ain't your dad. We're going our separate ways.
Gosh. God damn it. They used to have Christmas trees. Oh, Sarah. So has he told Maria yet, or is he like he still can't just walk out on her?
You came here to say goodbye or something?
No. I came here to steal one of these horses and go.
I would have gave you one.
I know.
Stealing is more fun.
You deserve a choice. I still think you'd be better off with Tommy.
Let's go.
There we go. That's her
Okay.
choice. Yeah. She chooses the older brother. Does she get Shimmer? Is that Shimmer? Does she get Shimmer? It looks like Shimmer.
Can I borrow that?
Yeah,
Because Maria took mine, you know.
I already said yes.
What about Ellie's weapons? Did she get hers back? Whoa. Teaching her how to shoot? Teaching her how to shoot, probably.
The target's
Wow,
too
he's
small.
teaching her how to shoot.
Eject the cartridge.
And I'm not flinching.
Deep breath in, slow breath out. You squeeze the trigger like you love it. Nice and slow.
You gonna shoot this thing or get it pregnant? It isn't gonna work. It doesn't aim right.
Oh, damn, he did it.
Dick.
Asshole. Right in the... Oh, you missed the O. The O was right there, but I guess the H is what's in the middle. That's the bullseye, but... gosh.
Houses, stores, that kind of thing. We were called contractors.
Structural engineers.
Contractor. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we were cool.
Okay, so if you mess up your fourth down and you give the ball to the other team,
Right. It's called a turnover.
As he's playing football to her, American football.
but if you make it to 10 yards,
American football.
then you're back to first down? I don't know what Tommy was so afraid of.
Don't
time to
say
find
stuff
out.
like that.
Still time to find out.
In this world, you don't need to be afraid of John Wick, just the contractor, Joel Miller. Yeah.
So I've been thinking, I don't want a sheep ranch, actually. I mean, if the deal is I can do anything.
That's the deal.
Well, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a singer.
Oh, yeah, you want to be a singer, yeah.
Why is that funny?
Joel Miller, the singer.
You gotta sing something now.
No,
Come on, man. I'm not gonna laugh.
you're already laughing.
Okay, true. Well, you're singing to me later. I'm gonna save the fucking world, man.
Please.
That's the least you can do for me.
Have him sing for her, please. I want to hear Pedro singing. I want to hear Pedro doing some singing. Yeah. Unleashing those pipes on the world.
Are those monkeys?
Must be from the old lab.
Oh, the monkeys are loose.
Look at them go.
The
First time
monkeys.
seen a monkey.
Ah,
First time seeing a monkey.
wait till you see a giraffe.
Something you make before moving.
They just left.
Oh shit, no.
Maybe not all of them.
Or could that be the monkeys? If they came back inside, could that just be the monkeys just fucking around with stuff? All this music kicking up and it's just gonna end up being like the monkeys or something. Yeah, it's a monkey.
All the pins lead there.
Salt Lake
Maybe getting
City.
ahead of the weather. Better facilities.
Oh no, Raiders. Oh, oh, balls. Oh, Jesus. Oh. Oh, no, neck snap. Full on neck snap. Oh, that's not going to go down well with the other raiders, is it? Oh, sugar. Oh, Joel. Oh, Joel. Oh, Joel. Oh, Joey. Joel.
Get on the horse.
Come on. Oh, God. This is exactly what he was afraid of. Getting hurt and then failing hurt. This is exactly what he was afraid of. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, you guys better watch out. She's a half decent shot. Oh, gosh. Oh, he's looking pale. He is looking pale. Oh, no. Oh, God.
Open your eyes. Joel, you gotta get up.
Oh.
I can't fucking do this without you. I don't know where the fuck I'm going. What the fuck I'm gonna do. Joel.
Oh, it's the same song. Episode 1 is the same song. Oh, God, come on. Fuck. Fuck. God damn, that was. I did not think they'd actually include the school in this. I thought that would be a whole other episode. Like, I can't lie. Like, when the memory flashback with Sarah happened, that they actually showed Sarah and everything, and then it cut to black. I thought then the credits would actually start rolling in, and that'd be. I thought like that felt like a pretty kind of that felt like an equally emotional and pretty suitable time to end that segment and then on to the next one. But no, they actually managed to fit 2 whole things in, and you know, fair to say, I think it didn't really seem cramped. It did not seem like it didn't seem or feel like they were actually kind of cramming 2 whole story to two separate kind of segments into one episode. It still felt very nicely paced and very nicely kind of written and very nicely kind of constructed and everything, and it felt like a really kind of easy kind of watch in that sense too. So a lot of it was very, very breathable and very, very kind of calm and collected, and then there were other moments, and I think again, I think this even with like the action towards the end, I think that was very, very, very brief, and nothing about this felt very, very kind of like tense in that sense, or like too kind of fast paced. I think everything kind of felt very, very kind of, you know, again, like calm and collected, and it definitely kind of feels like somewhat of like an actual calm before the storm thing, like what's about to come will be big, and it will put Ellie and Joel through their paces, and it will really test them, and it will really kind of push them to their limits and everything, and it's going to be like a way for them to use what they've been through to get through even more and even worse and everything. So yeah, but the stuff we saw in this was still really, really great, and yeah, it just felt very, very kind of long awaited, and it just felt like a nice kind of way to kind of to actually to get to where we've been going, and to then also continue on our journey to get Ellie to where she needs to be. So yeah. But I'm curious, I think one thing that actually kind of shocked me though was the 3-month time jump. That really got me, because then I was like, okay, wow, 3 months, so then I thought at least like they might kind of talk about what they've been up to, but then there wasn't anything about that. But then I think maybe then part of the point of this show is like as much as like what we see of their lives is like non-stop action and mystery and drama and death and loss and all that kind of stuff. Maybe like the 3-month kind of thing, it is more for them to just kind of be on the road and traveling, and you know, and of course like them being smart, they're they're not going to go out of their way to find infected to destroy anything, but then they are going to be smarter and actually avoid kind of more hazardous parts, and actually try and have as calm and as kind of non-violent of a journey as possible, and then actually kind of use that when necessary and everything. So then by that logic, the 3 months could have very easily have just been them trekking through the safest parts and having like a nice normal kind of human kind of you know time together. So yeah, but the 3-month journey, I think 3 months after losing Henry and Sam too, I think that is also like 3 months to deal with that kind of a loss, and then 3 months to actually kind of, you know, maybe if they're lucky, like not really run into too many other people on the way there. They would, even if they did, then maybe it would have been nothing special. Maybe they just didn't really kind of interact with them or anything. So Ellie took up second watch. I think she woke up and then found Joel passed out after his first watch and everything. So then she took up first watch. She took up second watch. I think she actually did it too. She checked the tracks. She took the vantage points and she surveyed the area. She actually did what like she did pretty much exactly what Joel would have done because he taught her. So I think in that 3 months too, I think he's probably showed her. He's probably kind of hunted in front of her and he showed her how to hunt. But he's taught her how to track and he's taught her how to keep an eye out and to be aware and everything, and maybe even showed her some extra shooting stuff. So then in that time they've been trekking, but then he's also like taking the liberty of actually passing some kind of survival skills onto her and actually teaching her how to kind of make it on her own and everything. So with that stuff, like with him kind of teaching her stuff in between, actually passing on kind of skills and passing off kind of and the knowledge and everything, I'm, when the Last of Us 2 actually does get adapted, I think it's going to show Ellie actually using like those skills that he's passed on to her and everything, and it's going to show like her being like an actual survivor in her own right and of her own skill set and of her own willpower and everything. So actually like seeing them lay the groundwork for that in this too, like him actually kind of using like it being common sense to actually teach her how to do something, so she's not completely lost. But then, especially now with him having fucking passed out on the side of the road from a stab wound and everything, she's likely gonna have to take the reins into her own hands fairly early on. So it's not going to be the easiest journey, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. What would have been background dialogue or extra dialogue in the game kind of being adapted into here as actual kind of proper kind of conversations for them to have in actual scenes and not just kind of background kind of chit chat or anything. So seeing them kind of connect in that way and actually seeing them talking and kind of having human moments and learning and still keeping up the whole thing of Joel kind of teaching her about what the world was like before and what society was like before and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, 3 months for them is still as kind of peaceful as it can get. So Ellie at least kind of kickstarting the conversation of like contemplating what happens to them after the vaccine and everything, like what happens after they do this and stuff, and like what they both might kind of go on to do, or like what they might want to do and everything. So they did mention like it actually depends on exactly what that process is like and what the Fireflies will have to do and what they'll have to go through, because I think they haven't really kind of talked much about that either, but I think maybe it's because like neither of them fully kind of knows exactly what the science behind the vaccine is, so then they don't know what they might need to test or what they might need to take or anything, because then so far it like their belief, and especially Ellie's belief after having tried it on Sam, is that it's something in her blood, so then maybe then all they'll have to do is take her blood or something, but then even if that's a question, it's like how much will they need to take and everything. But then if what happened in the game is anything to go by, then the vaccine itself is going to be very, very kind of complicated and kind of morality testing kind of endeavor and everything. So it's kind of it's nice to actually see them kind of having kind of enough hope and enough kind of oversight of the future, or at least like enough kind of foresight of the future to actually think about where they want to be after that, and actually, well, at least like if they actually kind of have any kind of aspirations of actually still being together after that. But then they're both like so similar in exactly how they're actually expressing love and how they're actually expressing affection and how they're expressing kind of that desire to be together. Like neither of them is really ready or actually feels confident enough to actually express that they've actually come to appreciate each other in their lives and they actually want to stay that way and everything. So it's the thing that as an audience member you can actually detect, like whether or not you actually play the games or anything, or you know how the story goes, like as an audience member you can actually detect it, and it's there in the writing and even in the way the scenes are played out by Pedro and Bella as well, and everything. So it's like a nice enough kind of display of exactly what they hope and what they feel without them actually kind of saying or actually admitting to what they actually kind of do want, and everything. So and of course, like also the fact that they're like two very different people too. Like Joel has actually lived through all of this, and he's seen what's possible and what's not, and he's seen how much kind of effort it takes to make something work and everything. But Ellie is like she's got like a definite kind of like a cynical side to her and everything, but then she's also I think Joel kind of would be more of the cynical one out of the two, but then I think Ellie kind of is curious enough about what the world was to be able to kind of hope for something like that in the future and everything. So having those two kind of personalities and those two kind of kind of mindsets kind of mesh together in this in this story. It is part of what makes it work, and actually part of what makes you kind of invested in that journey to see if they get what they want, and then also to see what they actually end up with and everything. So, and of course, I'm not gonna like go too far into it, like in like for case of spoilers or anything. But I will point out that there were actually like a number of nice kind of like Last of Us 2 references in this too. One being the farmer's life for Joel. If you know, then you know, like he actually dreams of the farmer's life with like having like a ranch and some farm kind of land to himself and having sheep and all that kind of stuff. So that was a really nice, like even the way he described it, like I imagined it being exactly the one from the second game as well. So actually seeing him kind of express that as like an actual dream and like an aspiration of his own definitely helped. And even them having sheep and like a farmyard section in Jackson was a nice kind of call out to it as well, so that was really fun. And of course Jackson too, Jackson, Wyoming. So I think they did have both in this. They actually did have both in this. They had the hydro dam from the first game, where like the hydro dam is actually where we meet Tommy in the first game to Tommy and Maria and his people and everything. But in this one, he doesn't actually have like Jackson as his place until the second game. So I think actually bringing in Jackson a little bit earlier and actually having that kind of be his settlement with his people and everything was a really nice touch. And again, it looks so much like the one from the second game as well, like the people, the actual environment, and like it being like its own kind of community with like running resources and stable resources and like a stable kind of society of sorts, and I think like a stable economy, and like even like Marie being like, it is communism, so the look on Joel's face as soon as they mentioned that too, so that was fun. And Shimmer, they had Shimmer in this too, so I can't tell if it was actually Shimmer that they actually wrote out on, because I think in this one at least, I think Shimmer looks slightly smaller, so I don't know if she's maybe kind of younger in this first season than she might be in the next the next season, like part 2's adaptation. As soon as I heard that name, like Shimmer baby, just seeing her was so good. Like different kind of Easter eggs and different kind of setups for what could be in the next season, and then what could be in the next kind of portion of the story, and like the next level of kind of character and world building they're actually kind of doing to help set up the rest of the story going forward. So it was really cool. It was really cool. Those who've played the game know exactly how deep shit will be in once we get to that position. But I think even the way he described it too actually kind of made it sound like no, not just David, but just kind of really ominous for people in general. Because then he said there are kind of horrors and people out there that you need to be especially afraid of and everything, and like to the point where he's like, to the point where he's like, like the best direction west in that direction would be to go east. Just turn around and go back. It's just not worth it and everything. And even saying like, we didn't see any of the bodies he mentioned, but he did mention that there would be bodies left behind by the people kind of in that area and everything, like some infected and some not and everything. So they're kind of definitely leaving that kind of environment and that kind of horror and that kind of segment kind of open for exploration at a later time in this season. So it'll be kind of interesting to see exactly what kind of horrors pop up in that area, and how Ellie and Joel, or maybe even just Ellie, given the state that Joel's in, how they actually face off against it. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But yeah, we saw Tommy, met Tommy and Maria. We got Tommy back after about 10 years and everything, and he's I think he did crack a joke about Joel actually having aged while he didn't and everything. So, but I think it's fair to say both of them have aged like very fine wines and everything. So there is that. And yeah, so we saw Tommy again, and Maria too. Maria was there, so I do recognise the actress. I'm pretty sure I've actually seen her in a couple of things before. I think do I know her name? I think is it Rutina Wesley? I think, because I feel like she was in Arrow. I'm feeling she might have been in Arrow. I think she played like a corrupt cop or something. I think in Arrow in one of the seasons. I think I remember seeing her name in the credits for that. I think might be Rutina West. I think she was pretty good when she was in that. So, but yeah, no. So Maria. So yeah, I mean, again, first Tess for Joel, and now Maria for Tommy. Like the Miller brothers do not do too badly. They I mean, not even too badly. But then they do very well. They do very well for themselves. They do score themselves some excellent and frankly gorgeous partners. Everything, and I guess like that is like another way in which Tommy actually managed to somewhat kind of unintentionally kind of one up on Joel. Like with this one, Tommy embraced love and he embraced a new partner and he embraced like a new love in his life. But then Joel Joel never really found it in himself, and I think he was too afraid to actually kind of accept that part of himself in Tess and actually let her into his life that way until it was too late and everything. So yeah, he didn't get but Joel fumbled the bag with Tess, and but now Tommy very definitely did not fumble the bag with Mia, because even now they're expecting they actually have a child on the way too, so they are expecting a child, so they're that far ahead in life, and he's like helping to run the community, and he's probably got like an equally high position as her on the council and everything. So yeah, he's not doing too bad. He's very easily arguably winning in the actual post-apocalyptic life too. He's got a great community, a great settlement. He's got like a great kind of life running, and he's got people, and he's Maria did say like part of their way of actually staying safe was to stay quiet and not kind of come into too much contact with potentially dangerous people or other people. So then because of that, she actually did have him kind of cut down on his radio time and everything. So that's actually why he actually hadn't responded to Joel in like a number of weeks. But then I feel like she would never intentionally force him to cut off contact with his brother. I think maybe like because I feel like maybe at most like she might have said maybe cut it off for like a select period of time. But then even then I think that time, like in his case, might have been him going off for like a few weeks and then getting Joel worried, or maybe she might have said like actually reduce it somewhat, but then he kind of maybe took that the wrong way or something. So I feel like she might never intend to, because especially like her knowing John, her knowing Tommy has a brother, and that's the one he's actually keeping in contact with over the radio. I feel like she'd have no reason to actually kind of like put that kind of distance between them unless it was for safety. But then even then, I feel like she'd actually be somewhat more reasonable about it too. So there's that, and then there's like so he's been running the settlement for like for 7 years, and there's 300 people, including children and everything, and of course the communism, the unfavorable communism, them having shared resources and like having owning the resources and owning production over everything and stuff. So what's working for them is working for them. If you really want to slap if that label is being slapped on it, then by all means. And I think again it doesn't really kind of seem like this is too much of like an actual politically kind of charged environment either. It's like in like as long as you don't break their rules, as long as you respect each other, as long as you respect the resources and actually get along well, then you'll do fine and everything. And then if you still want to call it communism, then by all means, as long as you can actually respect it and actually kind of treat other people wisely as well, then they've got no quarrel. So like, I was thinking, as soon as I saw her, I was thinking, okay, but and I think it was more my internal monologue. Like, my mouth just would not open to let me say, because I don't know if my mouth was like, don't say it's not gonna be true. But then my mind was like, but is it? Could it be? Like that girl, like when John and Ellie were eating dinner, and then Ellie all of a sudden got sassy at that girl that was actually watching her from behind a column, and then the girl ran away. Like, could it be? I don't even know if the timelines would actually match up to that, because in the second game, she is, I believe, of like actual equal age and everything to Ellie, or at least like even if there's distance, it might only be like a couple of years or whatever. But I don't know, for the most part equal age. So I don't know if it would actually work here too, because I think she looked taller, but I think taller doesn't necessarily mean older all the time. So could just be that like she's taller, maybe because Ellie was sitting down, she was shorter. But I don't know. But was it Dina? Was it her? Was it Dina? Like, if it was Dina, because then it didn't look like Casina Caradonna, who actually did the face capture for the game. But could it have been her? Like instantly a bell went off my head saying, Dina, it's Dina. Oh my god, is it Dina? And then like first it went from saying it's Dina to then saying, is it Dina? Like, it seems like way too obvious of like a thing to throw in there without raising some questions. And I think them being in Jackson, there being other kids there, other teenagers, and by definition having other kind of kids there of Ellie's age and everything. I don't know, if it was, again, I think if you're going to have anyone there, like, if you're going to have anyone in Jackson who's going to take an interest or actually kind of catch on to Ellie, even visually, then Dina would be the one. So I don't know, like, it just kind of seems like, on the one hand, like, the fact that they kind of, they're not going to pursue it now, because, again, this is based on part 1, and Dina isn't really kind of much of a person until part 2. So I don't know, but it's, again, with them laying groundwork here, I feel like I don't want to kind of throw all of my cards onto this one, but then I'm not kind of fully I'm not fully discounting it or disregarding it either. But if it's Dina, then wow, that is some really kind of, you know, early groundwork. But then if it's not, then wow, way to play with our hearts, way to play with us. So yeah, I don't know, but either way, I'm thinking. So yeah, I'm not really sure either way. So I guess we'll have to wait and find out. But and they had that bedroom scene. They had the bedroom scene as well. And I think it's a nice transition to actually have, because I think it really caught me off guard the first time I saw it. Because then as soon as I saw it, I was like, wait, that has to be the bedroom, because I think that space where that like open space where Ellie ends up sitting actually looks exactly like the open space where Ellie ends up actually sitting in the game. So it's like so much of it is actually just recognizing how well they actually recreate the environments from the game and like do it for that scene too. But with this one, yeah, obviously it's a vastly different kind of environment and setting compared to how it goes on in the game. But then it's the same room, because then that is the same room that conversation takes place in too. And for the record, that conversation between Joel and Ellie, they nailed it. They nailed it down to the very last pitch, tone, and detail that they needed to nail it down to. And of course, as expected, you know, Pedro and Bella themselves absolutely nailed the shit out of that scene. They fully kind of captured their characters and their emotions and their fears and everything in that one scene too. Like the actual tensions between them too. Like even the dialogue is spot on and so perfectly kind of captured and written, delivered, and everything. You know, like you just see like Joel's kind of you know like anger at like sudden kind of outburst of anger towards Ellie for actually daring to mention Sarah and everything, because then losing Sarah is exactly, as we explored in this, is exactly what makes him so afraid to actually kind of continue pursuing this journey with Ellie and everything, and actually spending even more time with her, actually kind of putting himself through more with her, only to potentially experience the same kind of failure in the end. And then of course Ellie kind of already having lost so many people in her life and actually not wanting to lose Joel again, but also and on top of that, knowing that Joel is not only the one that she believes is capable of taking care of her, but then he's also the only one she actually wants in her life in that aspect too. Like she's been through too much with him for too long to be able to let that go now and to immediately jump onto another person, even if that is Tommy's brother and Joel's brother, Tommy and everything. So just kind of seeing them reach that point after coming here too, them kind of seeing what there is here and what more there is, and how much more they could actually hope to achieve and experience even after all this has gone down, but then still having that left ahead of them to have to get through as well. And then it kind of leaves them wondering, and especially Joel too, it kind of leaves them wondering how much of that he's actually got left in him and how much he can handle and everything. So again, yeah, that scene was just pitch perfect. It was absolutely pitch perfect. So again, I think with this episode, I'm smelling and I'm hoping for and I'm wishing for and I'm crossing my fingers for those Emmy nominations for Pedro and Belly, just like, you know, best actor and best actress in a series. Just these Emmys have to be like the nominations at the very least are there. The nominations are there, so you know, the optimist in me kind of, you know, does want them to actually kind of to actually win those Emmys. But then anyone who actually kind of knows the story and actually kind of is receiving the story well enough can also sense the Emmy nominations actually be on the horizon too. So God, that's going to be a good award season to actually get into and everything. So, just to think again, just the way they are capturing these characters, the way that the creatives behind this are actually allowing them to play these characters and actually bringing that kind of that very very kind of familiar and very very kind of like emotionally kind of gut wrenching kind of vision to life and everything. Just how they're bringing it forward is just so kind of worthwhile and kind of, you know, just fulfilling to actually kind of to get into. So it just works. It really just works. And I mean, of course, that like Ellie's kind of part and Ellie's words in that conversation were actually sparked by her then discovering that like the name Sarah on the board, because in the board had Kevin and Sarah, so Kevin was actually Maria's son. Maria's son, I think that she had before the outbreak, and she lost possibly even in like a similar way to Joel's lost too. But Kevin was Maria's son, and then of course Sarah. I did kind of wonder because then on the other hand I was like, I mean, sure, she wasn't the only Sarah in the world, so then maybe some other Sarah whose name is up there. I think there were some numbers I think on the bottom too. I don't know exactly what they were, like maybe date of births or dates of some kind, but I can't remember exactly how they were formatted or anything. But yeah, there was that. But then. But no, like the Sarah actually was then revealed by Maria to be Joel's Sarah. So then, of course, again, that's when Ellie actually finds out about Sarah and finds out that he actually had a daughter before all of this. It's like a mix of like Joel even actually having said to Ellie specifically let's just keep our histories to ourselves. And I think this is the one part of his history that he actually did keep to himself. Like almost everything else about his history, even in this episode too. Like talking about how him and Tommy or at least like he used to be like a contractor and he used to actually build stuff and build buildings and everything. So that is the one aspect about his history that he's actually managed to actually to keep his word about keeping his history secret about like him having actually had Sarah in his life before and him having lost her and everything. So then this is Ellie's first time hearing about her and actually finding out who she was and finding out that she was his daughter and everything. And then I think I don't know if she actually mentioned like how he lost her, but then the fact that he actually did have like a daughter before all this, and he actually did have someone like that in his life, but now he has Ellie, like another teenage girl in his life too, is kind of what prompts her to actually kind of think about her and to think about what she would have actually meant to Joel and how losing her before all this or even because of all this would have actually affected him and everything. So then there is that kind of side of her that's like I'm not her, so you don't have to actually worry about actually losing me in the same way that you lost her or anything. But then truth is Joel is actually afraid of losing her, but because of that very reason too. So, and I think one thing we actually got in this that we didn't really get that much of in the game, or at least I don't know if they maybe displayed it a little bit differently, or if maybe they actually kind of made it more clear here that he actually had it too. Is his anxiety. He had like a very, very explicit and very clear as day kind of depictions of anxiety and like his anxiety spiking like from the very beginning, from the get go, like him, and it was like him worrying about Tommy, to him worrying about to him worrying about Ellie and everything, like him worrying about almost everything he could lose and everyone he had to actually worry about in this. Every time that happened, like he'd actually kind of like start leaning against something and just clutching his heart and just kind of just heavy breathing, and even the sound like the actual ringing in his ears wouldn't stop either. So I think like a very a fairly accurate kind of depiction of what anxiety could be and how anxiety could be applicable under fears and stresses like that too. So that's actually him experiencing that, him having that, but then also like that then leading him that on top of his age and on top of like him even like that monologue he had to Tommy too, like explaining exactly what he's been through before he made it to Wyoming, to like him almost being killed by that kid back in Kansas City, and then him having to like almost be being kind of shot by Henry and everything for trying to save it, like him admitting that like over the years he's actually grown weaker. But then it's the years, but then also the fact that it's Ellie too, like Ellie herself actually kind of has kind of somewhat lowered his guards down a bit, because she's managed to actually kind of creep her way into his heart that much more, and he actually has someone to worry about other than himself now. So then because of that, it's like a really kind of interesting way for his guard to be lowered and for him to be that much more vulnerable. But then because of that, he feels like he ends up feeling like he actually can't do the best job he can or should in protecting her and actually delivering her to her destination and everything. So but then because that like overall it's the fact that like he's actually allowing himself to be vulnerable for another person, and like with Tess, I think with her being like a survivor and like a fighter in her own right, I think he kind of had to worry about her a little less, because then she could definitely kind of handle herself, and I think she was so much more of like she was so much more of like an actual kind of diplomat than he was. So then because of that, she also kind of had the option to actually kind of navigate her way away from violence if she could and everything. But with him, it's more like him. I think even as explored with Henry and Sam too, like his tone also doesn't always help. So like he genuinely isn't like nearly as much of a people person, but then he definitely still has some negotiation skills and everything, but I think again for the most part it like his anxiety and his fears and his worries and like how vulnerable all that makes him and how vulnerable Ellie makes him, on top of the fact that he's actually so much older now and he's actually been through so much more and he doesn't know how much more he can actually take. You know, he almost got choked out, getting shot at like arguably more now, and even now he's been fucking stabbed, so this is almost exactly what he was worried about too, you know. So that monologue that like all of this being detailed down in that monologue that Joel delivered to me like that, just seeing Joel in tears like that, like for the first time in years, he's actually actively worried and scared for what might happen to Ellie and what that's going to end up doing to him, and but then also like what might happen to Ellie because something happens to him because he's not like paying enough attention, or he's not good enough for what he does, like he keeps on missing shots, or he lets someone catch like a kind of surprise attack on him, or he loses guard, or just something happens and he's like too slow, or like not strong enough or something. So just all the things, and I think that, and the fact that he even has nightmares. He even admits to having nightmares too, and it's like nightmares that he can't fully recall, but then in each one he kind of like he distinctly remembers actually failing her. He remembers failing Sarah. He remembers failing to save her, failing to actually keep her alive, and like that kind of that nightmare is constantly, and arguably even in his waking hours too, it's actually constantly running over in his head, like that's what happens when he fails to save someone and everything. So I think the last thing he wants is to have to actually repeat that kind of a loss on like a whole other level with Ellie as well, and especially like with this one as well, like after he's actually spent years learning how to survive and how to protect them and how to actually, you know, be what he is, and now even after that he still can't save Ellie after all of that too. So like that scene alone, I feel like that should probably be the scene that actually wins Pedro's Emmy, because then he perfectly managed to put on full display arguably one of the most kind of human kind of moments that Joel has actually had to himself and everything, and just like him detailing everything that like could go wrong, and like exactly why he doesn't feel like he can actually, that he's actually able to go on and everything. So just yeah. Okay, so I thought so yeah, one thing I do kind of very quickly want to kind of correct. I think in the episode I actually thought it was like an actual it was a peak up, because I thought the diagram looked like that, and I think it being shaped that way, I think I think peak ups are actually usually bigger. I think I'm pretty sure peak ups for are actually usually, I think peacups are actually usually bigger than that and actually differently kind of shaped as well. But no, this is a menstrual cup. So yeah, I think it's good of them to include that. I think that they had the pad. I think the pad. I think it was tampons. I think it was tampons in like the third episode. I think it was the opening of the third episode. She showed her finding tampons in the actual basement where the infected was and everything. So yeah, it's good to it's good to see them actually like not being afraid to include kind of menstrual health and actual kind of like actual kind of like that kind of medical kind of, you know, like resource in a story like this, because I think that I feel like especially like in a world and an environment like this too, it would be like a very important question to ask, like exactly where you'd find that kind of those kinds of resources, and how you get your hands on them, and how much would be left, and if it would be possible to actually make more of them. Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe like especially if they ran out even after actually kind of salvaging whatever they could from nearby environments, then I think maybe then they'd probably kind of like at least have someone on hand who actually knew how to actually kind of fashion maybe like a DIY one if possible, but then the fact they actually kind of still have stuff left over from what they used to have is still very cool. So them actually having that kind of hygiene equipment is actually really good to see. So yeah, and again I think it's just like it's good to see Ellie herself actually kind of like to begin with, her coming across this kind of stuff and actually using her initiative and actually taking it with her and everything, but now it being like the Diva Cup itself actually being something readily available in their commune and everything, and Maria, of course, actually knowing to leave that behind for her and everything too. So that's cool. So correction, not a P cup, a Diva Cup. So it's cool that they actually have that, but also the fact that they're actually not afraid to kind of address that, and actually address the fact that yes, people would actually still need this kind of stuff in the even and especially in like an apocalypse setting when it would be that much harder to come by. So then actually taking it yourself, doing what you can, and maybe even actually learning how to actually kind of, you know, make more or kind of get your hands on more by any means possible would also be like a very, very important thing to be able to do. So yeah, it's cool. And yeah, again, they actually had the school scene in this too, the University of Eastern Colorado, and again, that too, the environment, the way the scene rolled out, everything they included in that played right down to the last detail too. So, you know, I feel like some of the most interesting things about how quickly they actually roll through these scenes is the fact that they actually roll through them quickly. Because then in the game, as the player, like again, you're bound to actually find like Easter eggs and like dialogue kind of points and other kind of like resources and stuff like that, like tools and health kits and all that kind of stuff like that. So you actually pick them up, so then because that it literally only takes you that much longer in the game to actually get through an environment or get through like a level, because you're actually kind of exploring and finding Easter eggs and finding things to actually pick up and everything. But with this one, like with this, the thing again, I feel like I feel like they could definitely still incorporate that, but then you know I think like in the game it makes sense, because then you actually get you're able to actually kind of craft stuff from the things you pick up, like actual health kits and weapons upgrades and all and ammo and all that kind of stuff. So with this one, it would actually kind of it would somewhat kind of feel good to see them actually kind of picking up like a snack or two, or picking up like some. I don't know if ammo would really be left lying around like that, because then ammo in this kind of story, like it would make more sense to conserve it and to not waste it or to leave it around. But then I think maybe if there are dead bodies around with guns, then maybe picking up those guns and taking it with you, because then of course you don't want to take too big of an arsenal, because then if that was the case, then they could have very easily actually picked up all the guns from Bill and Frank's and took them with them, but then they didn't. So then with this one, like at least actually picking up some extra ammo on your way around actually wouldn't be the worst idea, I feel, and actually maybe picking up some shrapnel or picking up some other tools and stuff, so you can actually kind of upgrade your weapons. I feel like, you know, upgrading your weapons would not be the most kind of unreasonable thing to want or to do or anything. So I don't know, but just like to seeing them kind of progress through some environment so quickly, when it's like when players of the game will actually know you spent like an extra 10 minutes or so actually making sure you didn't miss anything or miss any notes or miss any, because then the fact that they actually haven't really found any kind of like notes or letters left behind from other people too, you know. Again, I think for me, this doesn't actually kind of result in any kind of in any less enjoyment of the show, or any less enjoyment in this adaptation or anything. But then it's just like, you know, stuff. It's like you would definitely kind of like almost have no choice but to do if you wanted like that much richer of an experience. But with this one, I feel like you're meant to be that much more relaxed, knowing that like as characters in their own right and of their own control, like they can control exactly what they do and how much because then with this one, like it is so much more tense if they miss shots, and I think that they will actively try not to miss shots and everything. So then because of that, ammo conservation will be at an all-time higher and everything. So with this one, I guess that does kind of make more sense for them to actually kind of be aware of their own surroundings and actually do what's necessary, as opposed to actually kind of doing stuff just for the sake of being like, oh, that's straight from the game and everything. So I don't know. Either way, it works, but I guess it's just like something that kind of really kind of surprises me when it comes up. So yeah, but they had the university, they had the monkeys that actually got loose and were running around on campus and everything, and even when they go into the lab, the monkeys are the ones causing the ruckus and everything. So yes, I think animals are presumably all, mostly if not all, kind of completely fine. I think we don't really run into many animals, I think, in the game either. I think you know, we have dogs, we have horses, and I think now we have monkeys, and I think for those who played the game, you'll know there's a giraffe too. Yeah, I think even then, I think animals themselves, like even like besides from hunting, like even rabbits too. I think besides from animals being hunted or actually being used as companions or trackers or something, they're still pretty kind of scarce. I think it kind of does leave me wondering, because again, like animals also do have that kind of that kind of sixth sense for danger too. So then like birds flocking away from danger, and like rats and dogs and all sorts of animals actually fleeing away from danger because they can sense it coming before humans do. So then because of that, I kind of wondered like maybe like would there be animals kind of underground in like caves or shelters, or like would they have actually kind of found better places to shelter before the outbreak happened, or what would have happened there? Because then kind of leaves me wondering exactly how many animals and what kinds of animals are actually still safe, if even kind of on the border of extinction because of the outbreak and everything. So just seeing the monkeys here, just like in the game, definitely kind of felt good and felt kind of, nice to see and everything. So yeah. And then, of course, we ran into the Raiders almost soon afterwards too, and then and that action sequence happened fairly quickly too. Like him, I think like almost exactly what he was afraid of happened too. Like he was caught off guard by one, and then even without realizing it, like the Raider fucking stabbed him, and everything. So I think in the midst of that kind of adrenaline rush, I think it definitely kind of made sense that he probably wouldn't have actually felt it straight away or at all until until Ellie pointed out to him, and then he actually had like a. I think it wasn't even like an actual knife, just like an actual piece of wood just kind of plunged into him and everything. So that happens. I think in the game that was easily so much more daunting because then as Ellie you actually had to have help kind of pull him off of the rebar and then actually fling him back onto the horse and everything. So in the game I think it was easily so much more kind of traumatizing to actually have to go through and stuff. Yeah, but I think the after effect and the trauma of it and the actual emotional kind of weight of it was no less no less kind of impactful and everything, and especially that final scene too, when he actually kind of just fully kind of falls off the horse and onto the tracks and everything, and then Ellie's kind of left to kind of lean over him, and she's just in tears and lost, because then she even says to him, you have to get up. I don't know what to do. I can't go on with this without you. You're all I've got left and everything, and that's her talking about life in general. That's not even her actually specifying about their journey towards Salt Lake City, but then that's actually her saying that she doesn't know how to actually go on without him in general in life and everything. So every week, this show puts you through some new fucking shit that just leaves you in tears and leaves you worried and leaves you just hoping for the best and then dealing with the worst. So that's what this show does. It leaves you hoping for the best and then dealing with the worst. So, gosh, just how we're gonna get through how we're gonna get through the next episode is a wonder. It's a wonder. So. Again, great to see Gabriel Luna back as Tommy and everything all these years later. He's nailing Gabriel Luna as Tommy is nailing it. I think the only other thing I've actually seen him in is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as Ghost Rider. Anyone who hasn't seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in general, just go watch it. You're missing out if you're not watching it. But then also definitely go watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for Gabriel Luna as Ghost Rider, as Robbie Reyes and everything. He is phenomenal in that role. He's fantastic and just such a brilliantly executed way of actually bringing back that character without having to bring back people who actually know Nicolas Cage and all too. I mean, he was great too, but then Gabriel Luna nails it just as much. So here's hoping we can actually have him back in the MCU one day as well. So there's that. But then also I think he the only other thing I actually know he's been in is actually the Terminator, the Terminator Dark Fate movie. So yeah, in this one, Tommy as well. I think to Tommy. Again, I think it's a very interesting kind of parallel between him and Joel too. Like with Joel, I think not just the fact that they kind of approach violence in the apocalypse differently and actually succumb to it in different ways, but then also the fact that Tommy was actually so much more adamant about not wanting that kind of a life and actually wanting something more reasonable and more peaceful and more sustainable than that, and then him actually managing to achieve too, him actually leaving Joel and the survivor group that he was with and everything, and actually being rescued by Maria and her people, and them taking him in, but to the point where he's actually able to fall in love with Maria and marry her and have a child with her, but then he's also presumably on the council with them and actually making decisions and actually helping with stuff and everything. So him actually still even his line about just because the world stopped for you, that doesn't mean it had to stop for me. Like him actually kind of being able to outline that, being you lost Sarah that day and you lost everything that day, but then for me, I still managed to find a way to move forward and actually accept my losses. Because then even with him, he lost his niece that day too. So. But then he still managed to move forward. He still kind of knew himself and actually kind of still had enough in him to actually know that the life he had with Joel and Tess and the other survivors was not the one he was comfortable with or happy with. So then he actually had the kind of emotional stability in him to actually kind of pursue something more and pursue what he believes he could have had even before the outbreak. So just the way they've played him off in this too, like the actual writing, and even Gabriel in his kind of performance in this too, like he brings so much of the Tommy we actually know from the game into this, and it's such a nice kind of parallel to have for like the other side of the actual Miller kind of brotherhood, to actually going to be able to see him living that much more prosperous of a life and everything too, and I think it kind of hurts even more for Joel, because like he sees that Tommy has achieved all of this without him, and he's been stuck kind of losing people and losing himself, and actually stuck working his way out in the Brooklyn, the Boston kind of QZ and everything, and actually kind of still kind of struggling to make things work with Tess, but also with himself, and actually being himself in this world too. But then he's actually seeing Tommy having achieved that. He's actually seeing Tommy managing to be himself and be happy in this world too. So I think seeing that kind of makes him kind of envious and angry and upset all at the same time, and then just kind of pushes him to kind of really wonder like exactly if his dreams of having a ranch are possible. But then he sees the ranch the ranch and the actual farm in Jackson and everything as well, and even Ellie kind of not really missing a moment to make a joke about that too. So again, I think having Tommy in this and actually having him come back and showing him in his bright future in this was a really kind of interesting and really kind of nice thing to see. So they nailed it. So, but yeah, I think for the most part that is pretty much all I've got from this one. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see exactly what they come up with for the future, and what direction we take things off from in the next episode and everything. So it should be a good one. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. So that was The Last of Us, episode number 6. So thank you guys as always so much for watching, for being here, for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then feel free to leave a like and comment on what you thought, and what you thought, what you're looking forward to coming up next in the coming episodes and everything, and what your theories are. And for those interested, the full-length reaction for this episode, as with all the episodes before it, will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So until the next time, bye bye for now.